So something interesting happened today. Let's talk about it. So something interesting happened today. I rode a bus. Yeah, I know. People have been riding buses for, 10, 20, 100, 150 years. Probably not 150 years, but you get my point. Today I'm actually in Hong Kong, and I'm riding on top of a double-decker bus. Now, double-decker buses, as you probably are aware, are kind of a holdover from the UK, jolly old Britain, and of course Hong Kong is a former British colony. But you knew that, right? But what you may not know is that even after the Brits have departed from Hong Kong, a lot of things from the former colonial days of Britain are still here. Like the double-decker bus. Today we're going to take a double-decker bus from the China border all the way down to the boundary of the new territories in Kowloon. There actually is a street called Boundary Street in Hong Kong, which is kind of significant because that's the point that marked the official boundary between China and Hong Kong, and of course China and Great Britain, since Great Britain owned Hong Kong. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of history. Go look up Wikipedia if you really want to know about how Hong Kong became Britain's and how it became China's again. However, suffice to say that when Hong Kong became a property of the Crown, so to speak, there was a line. Originally it was Hong Kong Island, and it progressed north into Kowloon, where there was a boundary Street. North of Boundary Street is what they call the New Territories. Now, the New Territories didn't really belong to Great Britain, but they rented it. And then in 1984, Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister of Britain, decided, we'll give it all back to you when the lease on the New Territories runs out. So that's a significant Boundary Street. That's where we're heading, well, ish. Now, of course, there's a lot of ways to get around in Hong Kong. You can take a car, a taxi, which unfortunately is kind of expensive. You can take a bus, which I'm doing here, and it'll cost you about the same as a train. Trains may be a little faster, but there's no guarantee of a seat. Where I kind of like the bus because on the train, all you can see is train. Perhaps the dude who's, kind of knocked out and kind of leaning over you and kind of drooling on you at the time, or just whatever happens to be out the window. Whereas on the bus, you can actually see a lot more of Hong Kong, and you get this nice comfy seat, and if you're fortunate, you can sit in the front, and you get a much better view. Now, even if you take a bus, you have options. You got the single serving buses, which are just one story. You got the double-decker buses, which I'm on now. They have a little staircase you can kind of go up, and if you happen to be of the persuasion that wears skirts, might I suggest you kind of hold it tight, as unfortunately there are a lot of people who would like to take advantage of that. And do I need to say more? Then you have your minibuses. Minibuses are 16 seats, and they're more of the direct artery ways of Hong Kong. Minibuses will get you anywhere, usually a lot quicker if you know the routes. Now, if you're going a long distance in Hong Kong, I suggest taking the double-decker. If it's a major route, take the double-decker. If it's a not so major route, if you're going off the beaten track, or you know exactly where you're going, take the minibus. Now, all of these things can be found online. You can either go like to KMB, which is the Kowloon Motor Bus's website, the China Motor Bus website, or just Google it. All the routes are on Google. Apple Maps, all of them. You just put in, I want to go from here to here, and tell you what the bus can go. There's no guesswork. No reason ever to get lost in Hong Kong. But what I don't advise, again, is the car. Cars are wonderful, and just like Doctor Who DVDs or ladies, everybody should own one at some point in their life. But a car is going to be really the most expensive mode of transport in Hong Kong. Not only is the actual price going to set you back probably 2 or 3 times what it'll cost you in the West, the insurance, the fuel, and the licensing will probably, you'll need to take out a second mortgage, let's put it that way. So if Hong Kong is a small country, is it a country? Well, officially, no. But it's got its own borders. You need a passport to come in and out, so maybe. But it's a pretty small place, and yet when you take a bus ride around Hong Kong, you learn just how huge this place is. Today, something interesting happened. I rode a bus in Hong Kong.